Welcome you here today. It was a great day today. We had a lot going on with our freshmen and all the folks that were running around the building. We said, people were wondering, why did you do it today? And then you had the freshman bash, so we have to rethink that to see, because it was pretty chaotic. But typically we don't have a great showing because the kids have a hard time staying after, and there's always events. And so Kaput always tries to put on a good showing for them so that they have a good experience. Our whole idea is to have a positive experience for them at school. Our Kaput activities typically are really, really good. We had winter activities this year. We had a cornhole tournament, a dodgeball tournament, and it was all fleeted and leagued, and it was just so much fun. And I'll tell you, how many kids do we have, Mike? Probably 150? Yeah, 150 to 200 kids, and it was so competitive, and they had so much fun. And so we try to bring that in so that those students can really enjoy this time, trying to enjoy school and see the positive things that we can do for them. So with that being said, I welcome you to the class of 27. I mean, honest to God, I think I graduated in 86, so I look back and I think these kids are flying through, and everything is just going to go fast for you. How many of you have upperclassmen in your household as well? Okay, so you know how fast it is. If you have a senior, this year is going to fly by. As freshman parents, it's going to be even faster for you guys. So the more you can take and enjoy these moments, and it's good to have a good contact for people here today and seeing all of you. But as you can see here, one of our big pushes for those that are here is get on parent and student view. You want to make sure you're watching what the students are doing, being constantly in connection somehow, some way. Please remember, too, that the difficulty with being here and now, just like our cell phones, is students will want that stuff in right away. If they hand in a paper, it can't be graded right away. If they have 2 weeks to work on it, the teacher really should have 2 weeks to grade it, because you don't want them grading 30 papers in one night, especially if they have to read a 3-pager. So we really got to be conscious of that things don't happen that fast. But it is important for you to stay connected, especially with your students, so that you know what's going on in the classes. One of the big things that we preached in our opening session with our staff, and so did Dave in our opening for the whole district, is partnering with parents. Raising student achievement is important to us, and we want to make sure by doing that we partner with you guys. Seeing everybody here today just makes me happy. Because one, I know most of you, some of you are my old students, so I feel really old, and so forth. But the ticket is really partnering with families to have that connection, so that we're communicating back and forth. Jesse will be up here in a little bit, and I'll introduce my whole team as they roll in, and so you get a chance to meet everybody. But this is one of the big things for a lot of your students. This is a year where many of them get a chance to restart. This is a refresh for them. Some kids are coming over from the junior high with grades already, so the refresh is a little faster, is they don't get to restart those pieces. So your students that had Spanish or had a math class that transferred with them, those grades transfer as well, and it's part of their academic record. But truly, this is when they build their academic record. So when we look at it, that's why it's important that we monitor that. Stay connected. Don't be afraid to reach out. Email's quick. Teachers get back to you. Counselors get back to you. Principals get back to you. Some people get angry because I call them at 9:15. It's because that's when I get to my phone calls. It's hard during the day. If we're going to be out in the hallway with our kids and with our teachers, it means those phone calls come later in the day. So it really is important to stay connected. But stress this with your students. This is a fresh start. We're really excited about this class. The energy we had in here, I'll tell you, this was a big freshman bash today, guys. Orientation, I bet you we had 175 to 200. This was packed. And when I started talking, they stopped. Typically doesn't happen with ninth graders. And they stayed focused for nearly probably 20 minutes and a good conversation. And then boom, we had them on the tours. The leaders that did the tours were just impressed. Great questions, great anticipation for what the next week's going to be like, what it's going to be about, and to try to ease some of those stressors. We have them sit in a circle and they talk about what high school is like. What are your worries? What are your concerns? And so that's one of the big pieces that we like to do, is to try to give them some reassurance that starting Monday, it's going to be crazy, but it's okay, and we can answer some of those questions. So we're pretty excited about it. Again, parent and student view, very important that we do that. One of the pieces that we look at is a 21st century graduate, and we look at the 7 characteristics, and we strive to use the Wildcat way to look at what are we taking in teaching our kids. We're looking at these 7 characteristics to try to build all these pieces. We're using it in communication. You're going to see it in our emails. You're going to see it in some of our dialogue. We do it like every week. We choose a student, and we base it on the 21st century skills that we want those students to learn. You can see high school is about experiences. One of the things that we push is, I stress with the students today, is get involved. If you're going to be a kid that sits back and doesn't get engaged and is not part of that experience, you're not going to enjoy it. It starts in the 9th grade. It doesn't have to be athletics. It can be band. It can be choir. It can be club and activity. It can be being part of a leadership team. Right now, we're boasting probably some of the best students in leadership groups and clubs. We have a climate team. We have a new student council we started last year. We have a leadership team through Up North Prevention where these kids went this summer and worked in leadership challenges. We're going to take them on the 19th. Right now I'm looking at filling a bus to take them to a Jostens leadership conference. And those kids don't have to be in sports. They were the ones doing the leadership stuff today. They're at our events. They're the ones we call when we need role models. New kids coming to the building, those are the first kids I call to say, hey, can you give Scotty a tour? Can you give Scotty a tour of the high school and walk him through? I don't have to coach them up because I know they're going to talk about the great things, because those are the pieces that we're teaching those kids, and it's reflecting back in those conversations we're having with other students. But getting involved, not just with robotics, but with, you can see here the pictures of our homecoming. For those of you that are new, that haven't been here, or your kids haven't been here, homecoming and Winterfest are huge. These kids will spend, just like my parking lot kids, a kid come up and said, Bardash, I spent $50 and I can't even fill in the holes. I had parents out there sitting, I had grandparents watching. That's the kind of commitment, that's the kind of culture we want to build. We want kids to want to be here. And these are the things they do. Our homecoming is phenomenal. If you get a chance and your kids are part of it, you want to come and watch. Our murals that we do on the windows, the hall decorating, it is phenomenal. We bring in the Hall of Fame on that day on homecoming, and these alumnus come back and they say, well, we didn't have pep assemblies like that. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It is really kind of crazy, but it's fun, and the energy is just undoubtedly the best. So your kids will want orange shirts. They're going to come and say, Mom, Dad, we need $10. We got to go buy streamers. We got to get some orange stuff. They're going to be a parade. We got to be part of this. We got to do this. We want to bring back and make sure we have people running for homecoming. So all the sports this year are mandated to have a rep for homecoming. Because we want to make sure we do it. Those of you that were graduates from here know that the homecoming court used to just be athletics. It wasn't about just anybody want to do it, but when we're only getting like 4 or 5 people, we really had to push it. We want that to be something they honor to do, and it was exciting this year. So next year is going to be better, but stress being involved. When they say, can you pick me up at 5:30 because I have this? Do it. Get them involved, make sure they're here doing things. Today, like I said, it was kind of weird with the freshman bash after, and then we got open house and just a lot going on here, to be honest. But you can see right here, the spirit jug, that thing is coveted. I got to make sure I keep an eye on it, because I'll tell you, that thing will disappear fast. And when it's gone, I cannot find it. And so we really make sure, but this is the jug is the whole treasure. They want that. And so graduation parties, they want to ask, can we take it? They want pictures with it. It's really just exciting. And you can see the leadership class does all this. Connor Thatcher is the leader of that class. He's also one of the advisors for the student council along with me. And so we're trying to build that leadership piece. And he's a young teacher that really has a lot of vigor. He's been in here all summer. You saw the showcases. They did all those. Just really exciting. This is what they do. You can see the colors. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. For those of you that had a senior, I see Jen's here. She had one, and she's got another one this year. I mean, it's really exciting, isn't it? You were here at homecoming. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, biggest thing we have here is support. As 9th graders, we want to stress that I feel like last night we did a special meeting for some students and their parents, and I talked about the support team, that I should make them all come up here and stand up here while we do this so they can do it, because they are truly the resources. Our counselors, we got liaisons through NEMSCA with school success, our behavior tech, our truancy liaison, our dean, everybody, my principals. It's just, we have so many people that this place is gifted to really help your kids. There's no reason there's not a resource. Today we had an incident, and the father says, did you find an adult or a principal somewhere here to talk to? And I thought, that's the kind of message we're going to be sending. So these folks back here, which I'll make them all come on up here. Come on up here, and we'll stand up here so they can all see you guys. Because I'm going to make you guys come up and talk too. So as we look through here, this is my office. We have Brady Hoggard, who's my administrative assistant. Julie Manning, she's on switchboard. I call her my administrative assistant. She's kind of like my mom, too, takes care of me. All these ladies do. Barb Port's my business manager, so she takes care of all our finances for parking and tickets and stuff. Just my go-to. So this is my office, so when you come in, that's who you're hearing. When you call, you get Julie. One of the things we pushed, and Dave was here earlier, is we've always pushed having somebody at switchboard. I think it's really important to have a person. I hate that you even have to hit 1, 2, or 3. I really wanted just to go right to her, but they said you had to have 1, 2, or 3. But you get a person. You know, my teachers, we talked to them today about stuff. You hit 0, somebody says, well, what if it goes to voicemail? I don't think Julie's ever had a voicemail because she answers everything. And these are the resources, these are the pieces that they do. And as you can see, most finances, paper information is going to come through here. If you have stuff that's legal that needs to go to the principal's office. The cool thing is when these guys became principals, they both said, we need to bring people together. Remember how those that graduated from here, we had houses? So the principals and everybody were spread out. There are weeks at a time where I don't see some of these folks because I just don't get down to that wing. And that was the same thing with the principals. So Jesse's idea was, let's put everybody together. So we moved all the principals, all the counselors are in the same spot, our school success and the restorative centers right there. So these folks are collaborating about kids constantly. It really was a great philosophy and gives opportunity for them to talk, where sometimes you might not see somebody, or you'll call them and they can't answer. So it was a great idea, but in our office, the same way. Attendance is Mrs. Tessmer. So again, she's inundated with phone calls as usual because they're coming in like crazy. When you go to parent view, you can do your absences on there as well. It'll beat sometimes calling, but if you call, this year I said, don't race to the phone call, let it go to voicemail and then come back to the voicemail. The problem is she'll have 30 voicemails. And so she'll do her best at getting back to you fast, but that's the biggest thing is if you get that, she's gonna jump on it right away. Oh, and sending notes.
Yeah, I couldn't get away from that one, could I? So one thing that can make a lot of this go faster is that if you know your student is going to be leaving during the middle of the day, send a note with your student. Make sure you sign it, send that in, and that actually is able to be processed faster than a voicemail. So please use notes.
It just helps speed up the process for you guys. Pick up for kids, you're going to want to pick them up. Typically, is either going to be at the back. I'll go through pick up, drop off, because this place is crazy. Where's the front? Where's the back? If you're not from here, you think, who designed this school? Because it really is. And it'll be better next year, I can guarantee it, because we're coming up with a different rollout of this campus when they start doing the bond work here. And we have some great ideas. And we're going to make it a lot better. So attendance is a big thing because we really want to make sure that's accurate. We won't be calling for 2 weeks. We give it about a 2-week window, and then we start the phone calls home for tardies and for attendance. This is our restorative center. So I'm going to have actually Mrs. Piper, our Dean of Students Support, come on up here because that way you're on video, and talk through your pieces. And we have Mr. Bookinger, who just spoke. He's the assistant principal that handles A through L, the beginning of the alphabet, and his assistant is Christine Johnson, and she takes care of the restorative center as well. And so there you go. Call up whomever you want.
Yep. Do you want to switch to the next slide? So my office is located in the restorative center. The purpose of that is to really help students when they don't really know where to go and they need support. So if they are struggling with conflict with a student, if they're feeling like they need to talk to a counselor but they're not sure, they don't feel good, but it's not like a sick feel good, it might be a anxiety kind of feel good, they might just need a break, they might be worried about truancy or anything that they need that they just don't know how to get that support, that's the restorative center is for them. Also, if they're having a hard time talking to a teacher about something that's bothering them, we can support them with that as well. And Mr. Adams, he's not here tonight. He is our behavior tech, so he is working with groups on a lot of proactive sessions of students who maybe are having a hard time with relationships, maybe some organizational skills, maybe behavioral in the classroom. So he's really supporting the students that are the most at risk of maybe slipping between the cracks. He kind of tries to catch them before that happens. He also works with students who maybe are struggling with classes and doing weekly grade check-ins or every other week, whatever it is that they need. So we have a lot of support within that area. And I know Mr. Robarge also helps with that. He's later on in the slideshow that he can speak to his program. But if your student really doesn't know where to go, always direct them, like ask them, did you go to the restorative center? And that's located in downstairs E-House. I always say kind of like Harry Potter, we're underneath the stairs. So downstairs E-House, and we'll find the support that they need.
Thank you, Mrs. Piper. I wanted to get her on because she has to go to her son's last open house at the elementary. And so we've got Joyce McCoy is at B-House. Joyce has been here with us for quite a while. She was my boss for a while, used to run the greenery. She has come back to help us in the CTE world, and I'll tell you, she is phenomenal. She's part-time. She's here from 7:30 to about 9 at night every day, and she's part-time. And she's bringing in hundreds and hundreds of thousands in grants. If your kids had a chance to come down and see some of the CTE, we boast some of the best programs probably in the state. And it's phenomenal to see these people working at what they can do. So we thank her for all that she does. And in D-House, we have the PBL classrooms. You can see here, that's an opportunity for students to work in project-based learning. They're 2-hour block classes. They did it at the junior high. This is a program that I was lucky enough to help start through New Tech Network, and Mike has taken that over since. So he kind of leads up the PBL programs. We've continued with the American perspectives and world perspectives in 11th grade PBL experience where kids can learn in a different way. It's different than what they do at the junior high. It's not necessarily 100% the same. So these kids are choosing to be in it. We have vivacious teachers. They do great things, and they're really starting to get back into the community, which is nice. It's part of community-based learning, which means you're partnering with companies and organizations to try to look at learning U.S. history and English in different ways. So it's pretty cool. You can see here they're working downtown with the downtown development, going down and working with Ann Gentry, and really trying to tie their project in. So it's pretty cool, and I'm really proud of it. See some of the, just cooperative learning centers and places where how they learn. They're large learning spaces, a lot of cooperative learning, a lot of communication, a lot of team building. And how do you deal with a coworker that you can't get along with? They got to figure that out. Here are some slides for our Alpena Health Center, our Wildcat Clinic. We had a soft opening last year. We'll probably do a grand opening this year. They were out in front. You can see Monica. She is the PA that runs that. I fortunately have a punch card there. Truly is nice. Sore throat. I'm going down. Can you get me in, Carly? Kids do that same thing. So you're going to see some of these forms come home. Any concerns you have, just call. It's a great opportunity for our students. They don't have to leave to get services. From sports physicals, and I'll list the things that they do, but truly a great partner for us. I am very thankful. One of the pieces I helped bring in when I was a counselor or early principal was bringing in our therapists from Alpena Health Center and bringing them in so students are not leaving to go to therapy. They're actually able to do theirs right there. And our counselors, who are great clinicians as well, they're working side by side with our clinicians, and just there's some great work going on. So here's some information. There's a ton here. You'll be able to see it too. Lee's going to post this up on our YouTube channel, which is, Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, it is at Alpena Public Schools, Michigan. So we're going to post that everywhere. So wherever you want to go onto YouTube, you can pull that up. That's where our graduations are going to be. That's where our meetings are going to be. The counselors do great pieces on parent information forums. They'll all go up there. That's what he's recording for us right now. Facebook's just too iffy to put that out there, so this is a better venue for us. We congratulate Lee on coming up with that. But these are the pieces that they do. There's a ton of information in there. Here is what are some of the medical services that are available. And even just the well checks, and if you're a parent and your kid's sick, the buses aren't going to be coming through there. We're going to have parking right out front. You go right to D-House. They check you in right there, and it needs to be students who are high school age through 21. So they service them through college. That's part of one of the pieces of the grant. It's pretty cool. And so in the summer they're seeing kids too. So sometimes they'll see students who are 18 to 21 from 3 to 5, and so it's really kind of cool. But these are great services they offer. The consent form only says that they can see and they're going to call you. You're not going to have to worry about any no phone calls because they're calling everybody whenever they're seeing a kid. So it's perfect. Right here are our two therapists, our two clinicians, Lisa Leonard and Peggy Kroniak, and they're seeing students on regular basis. They're using, they're seeing probably between 4 to 6 clients a day. So just like a normal clinician would do in private practice, and they offer great services. They have a great rapport and a great build with the students that they're seeing. And again, they collaborate with our team wonderfully. And it's a great partnership, to be quite honest. You can see the services they offered. If you're concerned about the sliding scale fee, you just communicate with them. Attendance.
If your student is going to leave class to go see one of the therapists here, it's confidential, and so the therapist doesn't tell our attendants that, hey, I just saw Johnny. So if you know your child is going to be seeing a therapist tomorrow, make sure you follow up with attendants to excuse your child for that hour or that period of time that they are with that therapist.
Thanks, Mike, and that is because the kids are going in there, we just try to make it as clear. Jesse Pattison right here and his assistant Kelly Saya. They are the e-house duo that also work with our counseling team. We'll talk about them in a couple seconds. But Jesse handles all the scheduling, so he's been here till 11 o'clock every night. The counselors have been burning the wick every night too, trying to make sure schedules are correct and working on them. Our staffing's still coming together, to be quite honest, and so forth. So they've done a great job, and I applaud them on all the work that they've done to get things ready. It is a never-ending piece. Here's our wonderful counseling team. As you can see, they're all broken down right here with their wonderful pictures. So I'll have Laura come up. I think she's going to grab the microphone, her and Robin, and look at the services that they have. Oh, go right out there. Let's see. That way you're on camera.
Hi, I'm Lori Vogt. I'm one of the counselors here. On behalf of all the counselors, Ms. Linton, and our rookie counselor, Ms. Sue Riedlinger. I said that right? Yeah. I want to welcome you all to Alpena High School. We're very excited to work with your student, and we want to partner with you to have a lot of success this year. We want you, as you know, we are a very large school, so we want you to be very comfortable to call us and ask questions, and not be afraid to pick up the phone. And anytime, just whether you think it's a question you should already know, just if you're not sure, pick up that phone and call, and we're happy to work with you. We try to be super responsive in terms of emails and phone calls, so you can expect to hear from us rather quickly. And if we don't know the answer, we will definitely find it for you very quickly. Some of the things we do in the counseling center, we do personal counseling. In this generation, it's becoming more and more okay to ask for help for mental health awareness kind of pieces. And we want to encourage kids, if they're struggling at all, to come see us. If it's a referral we have to do, we'll send them out to our therapist or somewhere else. If they're struggling in a class, come see us. We can help them find a tutor. We can connect them to other resources for assistance. And we want to make sure that everyone is successful to the best of their ability. We also offer a lot of career counseling. You're going to hear about Zillow. We're going to ask students what you want to do after high school. We don't pressure students in that regard, but we ask them to start thinking, because it is a process, and you may not know right now, but you're engaged in the process and you're asking those good questions so that you'll have a plan after high school. We do some crisis counseling. If a student is having any kind of trouble, they should always feel free to come down, and we'll interrupt whatever appointments we have if it is a crisis to see that student who might be in need. Also, we do some group counseling for students who may deal with stress. We know that the COVID era has taken a toll on some of our students. They need ways to learn how to cope with stress. We help to give them tools and different things to help them deal with whatever's going on. College and scholarship information is another thing we offer, and you're all welcome to come to our college night on October 3rd. Mrs. Miller would like to tell you about a few other things, and thanks for coming out tonight.
Hi, again, I'm Mrs. Miller. I work with your student if their last name is S through Z. So, hi, guys. For 9th and 10th graders, a lot of times they have questions for us about early college. What does that program look like? What can it mean for me? And then versus dual enrollment. What does dual enrollment mean? What can that do for me? And we'll get a lot of questions from students just to break that down for them. So that is something we do in our office. If it gets to be more of an intense conversation, that's when we send them to Lori Nugent, who is the head of our early college program. We do as well conflict resolution. You heard a little bit of that from some of the other people in eHouse, from the Restorative Center, Rob Adams, Brian Robarge. We work with a conflict resolution as well. We'll have students come to us just because they're super frustrated with another classmate, with a teacher, with, just anybody in the building, and they need some adult guidance in how to handle that situation. So actually, if you're hearing those things at home, I know as a parent, you're trying to guide them through the correct actions as well. If you want our support in that, encourage them to come and see us to talk them through some of that too. And then referrals to community resources. We'll have students come to us and possibly just in conversation bring up that their household might be short on a certain need or a certain item in their house. If we don't have the information to help the child or the family out, we will find it. You can see all of the people that your students have as resources in eHouse. So from food to housing to last year I had a 9th grader come to me and say, hey, can you help me find a summer job? So pretty much anything. And if we can't find it for you, we will find someone who can help you out. Next. And Mr. Robarge, were you speaking about school success?
Hi there, I'm Brian Robarge, and I work with NEMSCA, and I'm the school success liaison here at Alpena High. And I basically work with students that are kind of targeted as low risk, or at risk, and I work with them and their families to kind of help determine the resources and tools that they need to be successful. So one of the things that I do is I meet weekly with students who are at risk of academic failure, help provide resource information to families, if that is food or housing, or DHS referrals that can help them with that. I've also helped with peer mediation services this last year, trained about, I think 12 upperclassmen with working on peer mediation instead of it going to a disciplinary way, Also have a clothing closet here with clothes and hygiene products and a food pantry too, so that's it.
Perfect stuff. And then here's our wonderful Gina right here. I'll bring her over too from the school success side.
Hi, I'm Gina Bellinger. I'm the attendance liaison here at the high school and the junior high. And I try to assist families in overcoming any barriers they might have in their school, in their student attending school regularly. Whether it's health, anxiety, something going on at school or at home, I work with that family and try to connect them with community resources to address those barriers. Thank you.
Yeah, and she was a huge pickup too. We were happy. The NEMSCA agency really comes through and really provided us with resources to assist us in so many different ways, from our counseling team, which we employ, to those outside resources that are in the school. It's just a huge opportunity, and it provides us with other teammates to really get kids what they need to make them successful. Next up, we bring in eHouse, our registrar. Tracy is Jesse's right hand and the counselors. That's where all the information you get for scheduling's coming from. She was my partner in crime for about 10 years, and we made sure schedules were good, just like they're doing now. It's a never-ending feat, but she really does a lot of things behind the scenes. She's the glue that holds it together, and we appreciate her. In the athletic office, we got John Studley and Abby Dorr. You'll hear from him many times throughout the year from athletics. Today, we had our football team headed off for JV. We've already seen tennis, cross country, and soccer played as well. So I've seen some good things come out. And what John's talking about here is building and creating a culture of championship. He really came in after us having an AD for only part-time and really pushing to say, I need to make this program full-time. We need to start building programs. So to have a program, we've got to have a vision. So he's really taken this to the next level. He talked about it today at our staff meeting, and working with coaches to create accountability, to create an opportunity for students to be successful. in athletics, which augment the education. It's a connectivity. You know, if academic achievement's what we're shooting for, we want kids involved. It doesn't always have to be athletics, but it needs to be something. And John's really doing a good job of working with the coaches. They created last year core values that they created to try to say this is what we want our leadership students to do. This year he's going to have a leadership council, so he's going to meet with athletes at 7 in the morning once a month and really work with them to build their leadership skills. He's going to go with me on the 19th with a group of leaders and his team, and we're going to bring those kids and try to give them skills that are going to get them next level. We're not worried about Division I, Division II, even though if we can get 1 or 2 of those, that's always a good thing. Or Division III, we get them to play beyond, that's always a good thing, but that's not our number one goal in the wins and losses. It's about building good character, building good athletes, and building good citizenship. So he pushes it, and I love it. Credible leaders are mission-focused and not me-focused. So it comes back to that team effort. Just like that 21st century graduate looking at those 7 characteristics, we want to build that and teach this is what teamwork's all about. Our sporting teams, you can see we're equal all the way through. We added esports and swimming this year. And testing information, Michael right here, booking here, is going to be our testing coordinator along with John Studley, who's going to be the backup. And you can see your first opportunity for your freshmen is going to be in April when we do our state testing. That's on testing day. We call it, it's an epic day where they all get to take the PSAT for the first time. So we're going to be putting pieces in play this year. We did a lot of opportunity for engagement with students after school, within the school day, on PSAT prep. So our students had conversations. Our coaches worked with our CALs, which are our curriculum area leaders, to develop programs. So we had a team that put pieces together. Part of our goal was to increase scores and look at that success. So that's one of the pieces we shoot for. So that's a conversation. These guys will be talking to PSATers that are high-end 10th graders, and our 11th graders will be signing up for PSAT shortly. That first test is October 24th. So by the end of next week, if they have any accommodations, we need to have all that information in. And again, not a lot going on next week. So we had to choose a second test date. Otherwise, we would have had that stuff ready last week. So it's just kind of crazy. But it's important because we want those students to score well. It not only makes us look good, I think we ranked in U.S. News for top schools. You know, I'm prideful. I look at how many former graduates of Alpena do we have sitting here? Oh yeah, look at our staff. I said, how many people are from Alpena? And our staff raised their hand. It's amazing. Everybody wants to leave and they want to come back. And so for us, I'm prideful when I walk through this building. I mean, teachers wonder how I became a principal, but it happens. And the beauty of it is I have that pride. I walked the class of 73 through here. I had 50 73ers walking through. And when I was done, one of the things they said, we just can't believe the passion you have for this building and how proud you are of all the things that this does for kids. And it is. I look at these resources, and I'm part of one of those resources too, I believe, and it's just what we offer them is just an opportunity for a great place. I tell students every day, this is not our building, it's your building. We're here to help you make it good, but it's really your building. If things are going on, you got to report it. You got to tell us. You need to come forward and be there. The kids, they have fun. The seniors were emailing me last night, Brash, how about we do a senior sunrise or senior sunset on Sunday? I said, well, I can't really orchestrate that, but tell me when it is. I'll get there and get a picture because I want to see it. Hopefully Canada doesn't ruin that one too, because they ruined my sunrise this year with the fog. So anyhow, that's what they want to do. You know, they're looking at shirts already, and these kids are reaching out. And, you know, Robin and her daughter were painting on Sunday night. I came through, and they're sitting there painting. It's just such a joy to see the connectivity with kids. So, again, we believe it's important and really do take pride in this building. Up north prevention, Chet was, if you were here earlier, you might have seen him down the hallway because that's the only outlet he could find. He was running the 360 machine. The kids love that. But Chet's an old former city police officer who works as an up north preventionist. So he comes in and works with our students that have issues with addiction, vaping. So for example, if a student gets caught vaping, we're going to try to push them, because we want to keep them in school. Part of the restorative process is we don't want to kick kids out. We want them here. And so we'll get them to spend a day with Chet on prevention. These guys do a beautiful job of working with kids to try to get them to understand. Yes? Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't seen a cigarette in probably 2 years. I'm not kidding you. I have not seen a cigarette in 2 years. Did we even have one last year? One a year. And in the good old days, I had a Tupperware container like this filled with cigarettes. Now, none. It's all vapes. And so that's a huge addiction to these kids. These kids are addicted. You guys all know that we talked to the staff today about the vape detectors are here. Thunder Bay tested them last year. I helped write the lawsuit that got the Juul piece. So actually the whole thing was paid for by the lawsuit, except for $500. So all the vape detectors came in because of that, and it helps try to be preventative. We told our staff, they won't be in the bathrooms vaping, so you really need to be conscious when you see kids with their hands here and it's 90 degrees and they got a sweatshirt on. And it's just very difficult to find them, guys. You know if your parents, and you've heard the stories, they're putting them in the sleeves in here, and we just can't find them. And so it's really an addiction. So Chet in Up North Prevention has done a really good job of coming in. They're doing a grant right now. So they actually fed the teachers this morning as part of the grant to talk to them about the leadership piece that they're doing to educate kids in a positive way to bring in the prevention. So they're doing it through the back end, and they're getting them in, and they're really selling this. And Chet has been an asset. He's going to be here probably full time this year. So we're excited to have him. You'll see his name pop up. We say he's got to call the whole house. So hopefully none of your kids are involved in this. I pray for you guys. The Wildcat Den is the media center, so I'm no longer calling it the media center. We've renamed it. It is the Wildcat Den. If you did not get a chance during open house to go through there, it is not the media center of past. It's really like a student union. We hired the new media specialist to be in there that handles the books. We still have as many books as we had. We just have them condensed into an area, and the area is beautifully set up. We have a miniature classroom in there. We have very comfortable seating. Kids enjoy hanging out in there, and it's not like the olden days where you had to be quiet. So I walk in there, and I'm talking just like I am now, and there's no issue. Kids are comfortable in there. They're in there all the time, so it's kind of fun. The college advisors, soon to be announced, I hope. We pick one up. This person is wonderful. They handle our scholarships. They work side by side with our counselors. We're crossing our fingers. If anybody here is looking for that position, please look at it, and we'll interview tomorrow or Friday if you're interested. We could fast track. But in all honesty, if you know somebody that's interested, it's a great position. We had Jenny Terratuta last year, who's a retired teacher that came in and did it, and she was phenomenal. We picked her up, and she's going to be doing a Gear Up program through U of M Dearborn, and they're partnering with us to do a program called Gear Up. You'll hear more about it in the future. And so she switched to that. But that person's in that location. Youth Volunteer Corps, Alicia Hawley was down there. They work with Boys and Girls Club, and just a great organization. They do a ton for kids. So be watching for that. The AMA staff, this is our permanent staff here at the high school. I think Nora moves about. She's our school psych. But the other folks are here all day. They're working with kids with special needs. We have Danielle's the TC, so she's the boss, kind of leading them all. Sarah Graffor is she is a school social worker. She's awesome. We utilize her a ton. And Mary Morris works directly with the special ed teachers for their IEPs and really working to get what the students need on that route. The Wildcat Den is also home to the AACU Wildcat branch, which is a bank. So I make my truck payment there. I bank there. I try to go in there. We have 2 students who run it, so it's open every lunch hour. The kids are given an opportunity to get bank accounts, $50, $100. She's given deals all the time, but they're talking personal finance. She's meeting with classes. She's working. We are fortunate to have Allison. She's in the building every day. Our goal is to get her here full time. These are the pieces that they do, and they're a great partner, and they partnered with us to do that Wildcat Den, so they help pay for over half of it. See Al right there. These are Liam, and who's our other worker? Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's going to be the other one. And so they're just wonderful. She teaches them such great skills, and then they get jobs at the credit union as well. And we have an ATM. Yep, somebody owes me money somewhere. They got to go there and get some. And then YVC, here's some of the stuff that they do. They're just, Alicia does a great job with this group, and we're really fortunate to have her. And again, this is the piece that the college advisor does, and that's working with ACES too. So look at that. Look at our website. If you know somebody that's interested, or a college student that didn't find a job that graduated, that's who we really want to snag to get them to come in. Again, if you know somebody that fit this mold, please tell them to call us. Locations for secure entry and entrances. So those of you who haven't lived here, this place is difficult. Where do I drop my kid off? Why do I get stuck by the buses? Oh my God, I'm never coming to Bagley at 2:45. because 247, you are done. It's worse than Thunder Bay. No, it's not worse than Thunder Bay. The drop-off at Thunder Bay, well, the drop-off at Thunder Bay is the best thing that ever happened when they went to the high school, because you do not have to get stuck in that line. But that'll never change because the corridor is not changing. This is, so where do you drop them off? Typically, you want to drop off, our parents come in the back oval, which is the red line. Let me find my little pointer. Right there. And the line starts here, they drop them off, it moves pretty quickly, and you're dropping them off at this door. That's my greeting area. I say good morning to kids every day. I love it. It's the best part of my day, seriously. But they told me we got to start switching it up because I'm there every day. So I got to go to different areas. The 3 doors to the Wildcat where you guys came in, that's our entrance. When you are coming for any activity outside the day, whether it's an E house, D house, P house, you are coming in those doors. They're the only doors I'm going to unlock after school. We have to get used to coming in one entry, and you'll know why next year after we do some redesign. This is the student secure entrance, so they hit a buzzer, and they get viewed, and they get let in. Those are the kids that are in dual enrollment. Your kids won't be in that, or early college, but if they don't have a first hour, for example, if they have an online class and they don't show till second hour, that's where they're going to come in. The other area is for pickup. And also this area right here in between D and E by the Commons is another place where kids come in the morning. So in the morning when they get off the buses, they're coming in here, they're coming in here, and they're coming in here on D house. Now, if you're picking your kids up, here's what I suggest. I tell everybody this, and I leave, and I'm thinking it's just a death trap. If you come off Ontario and park on this side where it says no parking, your kids only have to walk here and get into your car. If you park on this side right here, they got to cross the street. And it drives me crazy when I see that because I'm going, this just does not make sense. Well, it won't be happening after next year. So that's cool. But I would say if you're picking your kid up, tell them to come here. So you know you got a doctor's appointment, that's the easiest place to pick them up. Park there, they walk out my entrance right over here, or they can even go out to F house after they check out. It's easy, and it's the safest place to get them. This is chaos if you get stuck in here. You show up at 2:10, you're going to fend for your lives. Those buses, I've never seen anything go from 0 to 35 with a diesel that fast in my life, but they can do it. And you just got, I'm telling you, it's just easier to pick them up there. So just kind of watch that, get into a routine, talk to them where you want to pick them up, know where you're going, so it's not, well, where are you? So after a basketball game, that's a little bit different. You're going to pick them up here, and you might be in the student parking lot, but just make a plan so they know what your pickup and drop-off is. Secure entry, so again, you're going to be coming in those entries that I talked about in the top up here. Those are the only entries in the morning we have. Then at 7:35, my lead custodian goes around, locks every door. There's 82 doors in this building. This place is a door fest. I want to do away with about 50 of them. But the problem is all of them are locked. Our kids are awesome about not opening it for people. So if an adult comes to the door, Mud's done this before when he was working on a different team, and we had a call, and a kid says, "I can't let you in." He says, "I'm a cop. I can't. You gotta go see Berdage. He's over there. I can't let you in." No, we just rolled up on the grass. They need us to get in the building. No, we can't get in the building. You can't do that. So it's kind of, the kids don't let them in. And if they do, and we see somebody got in there, they're probably going to get suspended for a day because we can't let people in the building. So we really work hard at pushing that message. So after school meetings, again, that's where we're going. And just build a routine. If you can build a routine, your kids will know where you're at and you'll feel better. And if you've got a son or daughter that drives, you're living the dream because you do not have to come here. And we know that you do that. Any questions on drop-off, pickup? I'll let you guys ask all kinds of questions at the end, too. Again, this is what the secure entry looks like. Lee helped me with the signs. He didn't like the ones I made, so he did these. They really are nice, but it's funny. People come up, and you see them reading it. They're looking, where do I press? Is there anybody here? Julie's just like going, what is it? Push it, and then they pull. They can't get the pull in. So this year, I have a pilot program where I'm going to have somebody there so they literally can see both doors. It's only going to be for a year because they're going to redesign that entry, which is going to be cool, but we will have a person doing that. Again, I'm hoping to interview that person tomorrow and hire him tomorrow evening. You see the speed in which we're moving. Here's the main entrance right here. This is the back oval, so that's by the main office, and that's where visitors come, not students. Students are going to the front entrance. Visitors are coming here. And then we're lucky to have Jason Culligan. He's our SRO officer. He told all the kids or staff members, yes, I am in my sophomore year. And he says, 3 days to road patrol is done. So he loves being our liaison. Great resource for kids. He could be up here today too, but he was at our morning session, so he couldn't come and work this evening either. But he's a resource for kids. He's in the hallways. He's a very, very approachable man. Kids like him. We want him getting into classrooms. We want him talking to kids. I enjoy when he does engage with kids because he's so authentic and he's so good. He's a good resource for you too when you have questions. So reach out to him. He's a good one for us. We're glad to have picked him up. Breakfast and lunch. Okay, I'll tell you, last year, after we had free lunch for everybody the year before, I'll tell you don't know how many kids said, Raj, what happened to free lunch? Well, it's back. And so free lunch, free breakfast, guaranteed through the state of Michigan. But I'm going to ask you, please, 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 please fill out those forms. Even if you don't think you'll qualify, it has nothing to do with that. We have to get to a level by October with those forms. So even if everybody in here did it, I'm going to be forever grateful. And nobody's going to, you don't have to worry about what the information you're seeing. It's not going to change anything. It's the state needs that information. So if you guys can help us by doing that, you can go online and do it. I put the link right here. I think that's the right one. I tried it before I came in here. But again, the forms are available. We have the paper copy too. And again, you look and say, but I'm not going to meet the financial piece. Don't worry about it. Send it anyhow, because all your kids are going to get it. Here's the problem. I told them, ask the lunch ladies, why did I get a bill for food? Because your kid got 7 pieces of pizza and no fruit and no milk. They can't have 7 pieces of pizza on free lunch. It's a component 2, and they got to have 3 of 2 and 4 of 1. And I tried looking at it like 4 or 5 times. I'll put it in my weekly. You guys read it. Somebody educate me, and I'll feel better. But it'll be in my weekly on Sunday. But again, they only get certain pieces. So if they're going over, it's going over because they're buying 7 pieces of pizza, and they can only have 1. So you got to go through the lines. But our salad bar guys, they're coming from the junior high. The food here is exceptional. Oh, Lee. And it is good because a large number of our students get free or reduced lunch, and it's truly an asset. I mean, for everybody. If you have 4 kids going to school, I mean, it's like we're throwing a 20 out every day. I see head shaking going, I almost have to take a small loan just to feed my kids at school because I don't want to pack a lunch. But it really is. So this is a great opportunity. And like our salad bar, they go through the salad bar. There's not a better salad bar in Alpena. Homemade soups, homemade rolls, we do have reduced fat ranch, I think. I don't think it is. But it is super good, and it's all homemade. But anyhow, our cooks here, they are unbelievable. The breakfast sandwiches, I mean, to die for. I definitely, Weight Watchers, it's not on my point scale. So anyhow, it's a great opportunity, but it's good for them because it's one less thing you guys have to worry about. So please take advantage of that. Again, lunch here. So for those of you that did go to school here, we are a closed campus. It is a secure campus. With the history of everything, we can't have an open campus. I tried working with kids, trying to do it. We have tons of kids coming and going for dual enrollment, but they can't leave. Once they're here, they're here. So they can't go sit in the front oval. I do have 2 areas that they can go to. They can go between D and E. I call it Mr. Pattison's playground. He loves lunch. It's right outside his window. It is. Our 9th graders, guys, your kids, they need to run. I mean, in the past, they used to be able to hang out in the front oval. They could do that. They could, it was cool. They'd walk the sidewalks. They came back. It's just that we can't in this day and age. We have another one right here. If we can, that I have picnic tables in, they'll come sit out there. But again, that's the only areas they can go to. We just can't, with this day and age, we just can't do anything different. So, if you get conversations with, Mr. Pattison was yelling at me. What were you doing? Well, I was throwing the cherries from the tree at my friends. That happens I was almost going to cut down the cherry tree this year because literally they're throwing them. But it is funny because they want to get outside. They're kids. And in lunch and secure areas, so those are the areas that we have. Again, I encourage them to go outside because it is good. Your kids are getting exercise. So the media center or the Wildcat Den, those kids will walk that thing 30 times in less than 20 minutes. Literally, they just walk circles. It's beautiful. They really are getting exercise. They're moving around. They're heading down there. They're They're moving about the building. They would love to have the gym open, but we can't with the floor because they can't have street shoes in there. And plus we just don't have the ability to supervise. It's a big campus. Lunch is crazy. I mean, because their kids are moving all over the place, and we can only be in so many locations. So that's it. Time schedule posted everywhere. You'll see we have 7 hours based on the advisory. So kids are in their advisory. Those calls will be coming home from those teachers before like the first week of October, so that what is advisory? It gives their kids another opportunity to have an adult that they can connect with. That's our goal. They're based on grade level, so we're going to be going in and working with 9th and 10th grade classes, all this team right here. This is our team, and we're going to be in there co-teaching and working with them, doing a program called Wayfinder, which is pretty cool, and so we're pretty excited about it. Kids and parents, you saw today, I only had 2 working. My co-presidents were here, and they put on the freshman bash. So there's a whole bunch of literature out there. Please look at signing up. I'll have it in my weekly this Sunday. I was going to have the meeting on September 4th, but of course we're not going to be in school on September 4th. So I'm going to move it to October because we don't have another activity event until probably mid-year. And so planning for something in the winter for the kids. So we'll do it in October. It's always the first Monday. It's in the Wildcat Den, 6 o'clock. And it's kids and parents united together, putting on activities that are drug-free. It was set up years and years ago. This has been in existence forever. And we do great things for kids. And that's one of the pieces that we do. It's sponsored by Alpena Youth and Rec. And we really push that because that millage helps supply the money to catapult all those activities. I mean, our senior celebration is it's in excess of like $12,000. So we're spending $12K on kids for one night, and they have fun, and it's something they remember, and it's well worth every dollar. And that's probably $6,000 in donations that businesses and companies do, and you would be asked to make 3 million chocolate chip cookies. So do it, and I see some families here that we're probably going to get joined up, so we'll look forward to having you there. So again, first meeting is then. And this is some of the stuff that they do. This is the hall decorating and homecoming, what it looks like. The pool doesn't like when I have that fire. It kind of shut the vents off, and it got a little hot, a little condensated in there. We should have told them. But this is some of the activities they do, going off campus. Again, truly, that's our homecoming outside Winterfest. That was fun. This was that dodgeball tournament that we had. It was awesome. This is a dance. You know, we're right out there with them. We're not dancing, seriously. I invited some people to come to a dance once, and they couldn't even get to dinner, so they had to go to Taco Bell. Adults sitting in the front. So this is the activities. But we came back from Arzo's at, 2:30? And these kids started doing this train. It was 150 kids lined up dancing, coming up the balcony. I have video of it. I should have had it on here. It was the coolest thing in the world. 2:30 in the morning, these kids are ready to roll. It was the best group ever. And then we send them home so parents know they're coming. We used to do the all-nighter, but we couldn't maintain those kids in there, so it was difficult. So that's just one of the cool things we do. And questions? And did I keep it to an hour? I did a good job. So questions. And ask any of these guys questions too. Go ahead. And you want to talk to the resources. I have it too, I'm sure. Somebody should have probably taken care of me way earlier. And I think I'm pretty successful and I feel pretty good. But these guys will talk to you about that. I definitely connect with a counselor. Something you want to talk to your family doctor about too. It's not uncommon. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Work with them, and it's educating the teachers as well. But certainly, whoever your son is, just connect with your counselor and look at setting up a program. That's it? Oh, yeah. Does anybody, the student pass for athletics, that's the best money you're going to spend. How much is it, guys? $40? 45. Get that pass. You never have to give them $5. You don't have to give them $2. They go in, they swipe it. It's $45. These kids are at the events. They are going to everything. From volleyball to basketball, we're packed. And does it cover the surcharge for the hockey too? Sweet. And so kids are there, football, and again, talk to your kids. It's not necessarily the ninth graders because they're in the stands in the ninth grade, but the mosh pit in the back, that's one of the pieces we're really trying to do away with, because our principals are back there the whole time working with kids, trying to get them to watch the game. So encourage your kids to go to events. It is fun. I mean, our student section is packed. Oh yeah, tomorrow night we play Flint. So first football game is at 7 or 7:30, guys? It's at 7, and then at 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock, so they can do a twofer. They can hit the volleyball game, and I think you can get all those online, all through school pay, but get the pass for your kids. It'll cause you a lot less headache. Best $45 you'll spend. Go ahead. No, our backpacks, we are fully backpacked. You can carry them, but encourage your kids to use their lockers. I talked to them about that today. It's still, Lee talked to me at length about this last year. I mean, we got kids walking around with a backpack that's like 600 pounds. I mean, literally talk to them and say, split it up. At lunch, go flip out your backpack. And then you have time at the end of the day to go to your locker. Use it, decorate it, make it part of it. But yes, they can use backpacks of any sort. They can use string bags. You're gonna get the information. Lee, when is our cell phone piece going out? About 3 minutes. So you begin the 3-minute cell phone piece. It's going to be crazy for a month, but you want to know something? It's going to be the best thing in the world. There'll be no cell phones bell to bell in a classroom. That means their cell phone's not going to be in their pocket. It's got to be in their bag. And if they don't have a bag, it's got to be in their locker. Because if they have it in their pocket, they're going to want to do something with it. If they have their earbuds in, they've got to take their earbuds out too. We're not worrying about watches because we can't do it unless the kid's sitting there going like this. Then we're going to take the watch too. Very clearly spelled out in there. Our students are ready for this. So I collaborate with 3 principals in the area. I do Cadillac, Gaylord, and Petoskey. We meet every 2 weeks. It's one of the best meetings I have, and we just brainstorm. So last year, all of us did a different cell phone policy. Let's see who comes out. Deidre won. She did this one, and ours was kind of similar with taking it and then having parents pick it up. But this will be the first one, the second one, and then the third one. Guess what, guys? They're not coming back. But my son has to have it because I got to know, I got to get a hold. No, they should have thought about that the second time. The third time, you're not bringing it to school. So we're going to teach them how to use real phones. They're going to have to memorize your number, and they will call you. Seriously, we have phones everywhere, guys. They just don't know how to use them. It is crazy. They come in, and they look at it. Julie says, pick up the handpiece. What time is it? Is it 12:21? Look at the clock. Oh, okay. They don't know how to read clocks, and they don't know how to use phones. It is funny, but the policy really spells it out. This is because of engagement. Our kids are not engaged. They're addicted. Mine's gone off 6 times already. I haven't touched it, didn't look at my watch, but I know that there are phone calls. I hope it wasn't an emergency. But the fact is we don't have to worry about it. We'll get it when it's done. If it was somebody who's dying, they'd be running in and getting me right now. But the fact is that that's going to be the policy, and we're going to stick to it. And when we say it's gone for, we were going to do the semester, but we didn't. We said it's at principal discretion. Because what we'll do is we get to like the week before the semester ends, everybody's had their phone up because they can only keep it till the semester. They'll learn that one. And so they lose it after the 3rd time. And we really, really need the parent support. That's where I believe this partnering with parents is so important. Because it is going to be equaling student achievement. When we're collaborating with parents, calling them, talking to them, nothing bad's going to happen from that. We'll get a couple yellers and a couple people that won't be happy with us, but we'll get more majority of, when I'm calling Scott to talk about Little Mud, he's going to say, thanks, Rome, for calling. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Thanks for letting me know. And I think he's a pretty good kid, too. Because I said to my teachers today, let's call. If you have 2 bad phone calls, make 1 good phone call. Because then you leave that mindset and that shift of that. I remember when Sister Thea called my dad. She said something good, and he still got angry because he said she shouldn't have been calling and didn't have to do that. We want these phone calls now. You know what I mean? We want this. So you're hopefully going to be hearing from them. It's hard to get a hold of people because you see the 358, and you're going to say, that's either Lee or Romeo. We don't want to hear it. Hey, Lee? So that's the ticket is please, please, please support this. It's going to be a good thing. It's going to be a heartache for about a month. And after that month, it's going to be there. You're going to hear a thing about Smart Pass. It's a new pass system we're using. It's pretty cool. It's going to help us track kids a little better in the building. And we need to do that. Not for your kids primarily, but for some kids, we got to track. We always wonder, why the 2 kids are going at the same time to the bathroom every day. Now we're going to be able to see it. It's really kind of cool. Mr. Bookinger came up with it. We presented it to staff today. Kids will get it the first day. It'll be a couple headaches, and then we'll be right off to the races on it. So pretty excited. But yes, on the backpacks. Yes, ma'am. What lunch you have? So Mr. Pattison is going to get me that on Friday, and you'll get it in the weekly. So here's what happens. If they got it today, they're going to try to arrange your lunches. I'm going to get my class changed 5th hour because I want to be with Sue. John Pintar was already in trying to set his lunch up because he wants to make sure teachers are the same way. We want to know, I want to eat lunch with Brian every day, so I want to make sure we have the same lunch. So we don't hand it out purposely because we will not change lunches for friends, guys. I mean, I'm sad when I see a kid sitting by themselves. I never want to see that happen, but I'll go sit with them. The one kid said, I'd rather sit by myself. Please don't sit with me. But I felt bad for him, you know what I mean? I said, dude, I'll sit with you. He said, no, I'd rather you not sit here. Don't sit there. 2 weeks in, they're asking us to sit with him. Okay? No, seriously, it is funny, but he really did say that. Anyhow, any questions? More? Guys, enjoy this. This is the best time of your life. And for those of you that have seniors, it's going to go by fast. It's going to be quick. For those of you that have freshmen, this 4 years is going to fly. Because aren't you asking yourselves, how did our kids get that old? I feel like I was 21 yesterday. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm telling you, my knees don't feel it. Okay, so anyhow, guys, have a great night. Thank you for being here. This team is all approachable. Tell your kids to approach us, and don't be afraid to contact us, and we'll get back to you. Everybody have a great day. Go Wildcats. Thank you.